It is complete cringe now. I just recently got a PC and I have spent over 81 hours playing this game.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But no, for real, I've played a lot of this game. I've watched a lot of videos. I've played a lot of it. Seriously, I was so into this game. Like, those 81 hours do not show all the stuff I was doing behind the scenes, like going to practice range, a new workshop game mode, all that cool stuff. I guess not cool stuff, that cringe stuff for a long time trying to get good at the game. But I just couldn't do it because the game's kind of cringe. So, I don't mean cringe as in a bunch of 9-year-old boys and girls screaming, "We like Fortnite." Sure, you can already imagine what's happening right now. I'll give you a video representation just in case you can't.
We like Fortnite! We like Fortnite! We like Fortnite! We like Fortnite!
Overwatch cringe is different than Fortnite cringe because Overwatch cringe, you have to actually be a part of the game to understand the cringe. Like, I was a part of Overwatch for like a month and a half, basically, of me only playing that game exclusively to really understand the cringe of that game. In Fortnite, I don't even have to take a second glance anymore. Like, I don't watch it anymore. I don't do anything with the game, and I just know it's still cringe, and it's always going to be cringe. But with Overwatch, you have to be a part of the game. So, the cringe, I'm going to stop saying that now because that's starting to get annoying. But the things that make Overwatch bad, basically, are its stale gameplay, its toxic community, and the fact that the game's not going anywhere at its present state, and it doesn't seem to have gone anywhere in the past year and a half. Number 1, the toxicity and what it's driven me to. The only way you are spoken to in Overwatch anymore is through caps lock and being screamed at. There's not many other forms of communication. I've had a few good experiences, and they've been too rare to actually for me to get footage of them, but that's kind of what the game is now, is people yelling at each other because they're not getting exactly what they want and they're not conforming to the team to actually try to maybe win. And it's kind of sad now. It's pretty cringe. It's kind of terrible what it is now. And it's driven me just completely away from multiplayer games. I don't play them anymore since Overwatch. I only play single player games now. I have basically deleted all of my multiplayer games. The only multiplayer game I play now is Rust, and I'm not a big fan of Rust anymore just because of the toxicity I've received from Overwatch. And I'm saying that is like, I did whatever. I played that game a lot, and I'm not saying it's like something sad, but it's kind of like sad to see a game that could be this good and it's just completely ruined by a community, and it kind of just shows a lot of stuff. Like, none of the people you play with are willing to change who they are, and they're not going to try to switch to a role, and people are always trying to get these role locks, and role locks isn't going to be a thing that happens because Overwatch is kind of a dying game, and it's been on the rise a bit lately, but it's still a dying game altogether. If they add rule locks, the queue times, I've had queue times every time upwards of 3 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot, but 3 minutes for every game that I go into, and usually more. I don't get many games where I have less than a 3-minute queue. If you're adding roll lock, you're not going to pair with anybody probably in under 7 minutes. It's going to take like 7 minutes for you to find a game ever, because how do I say this? How much they want to stay on that role, like how much they are focused on one role, and I mean that is basically only DPS. You get quad DPS almost every single game because people don't want to switch from what they're doing. They just always want to do it, and it's just kind of sad, and it's just like, that sadness makes me, kind of cringe, because this game, Overwatch, is a really good game, and just the community of it and what's happening in the game has taken that away from me. It's taken away like my fun in multiplayer games now, and I can't really play them anymore because it's just like shown this new side of video games, which I hadn't really seen before. Like, I've always known it's there, I guess, but now I didn't know it was as common as it was before. And you might be calling me some like bitch or something like that because I can't play multiplayer games anymore, but like, that's really toxic. If I was really committed to Overwatch and getting good at the game, but I can't deal with toxicity when I'm trying to get good at a game. Like, I don't know how the pro players can do it. And you're like, oh, you gotta survive in this higher pressure environment, bro. Like, just deal with it, brother. And I'm like, I don't, like, why would you want to do that, though? Like, there's no reason to do that. It's like for the challenge, but it's not a challenge, man. It's just being around people who are mean and rude to you for no reason, just because they want to do what they want to do. You know, they don't care about the fact that you want to play tank or something. They're just all going to go DPS, or they're just, nobody's going to care what you do. They're going to ask you to switch. It's like, it just kind of sucks, man, when you play the game. And that's basically all I have to say about the community. This is probably going to be my longest one, except for the third one about how the game isn't going anywhere. But this is kind of a deeper analysis into the Overwatch community and gaming itself. So there's that. So going away from that kind of aspect of gaming as a whole, that was more analysis and philosophical as to why I don't like Overwatch. Now it's kind of just more about Overwatch itself, and that's the stale gameplay. I played this game quite a lot, watched a lot of it, and the reason which drew me to it is I just like the game, you know, because it was like, the reason why Fortnite was interesting is because every single game was supposed to be different. I'm like, you know, it was. I played that game season 2 to like season 5, I think, and every game was different. And I was like, well, now it's not anymore, you know? They didn't add enough changes to the game. It just became the same. And that's what happened with Overwatch. It stayed the same. Every game started to, you know, they all started to blend together. And that's not what you want when you play a game, because you want to remember those games. Like, I played over probably like 300 games, probably more than that, I don't know. And I couldn't really recount many of them to you. And that's kind of sad that I played that many games and I don't think I could tell you a full match. And you're like, oh, that's normal, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm like, well, no, it's not. I want to remember the things that I do. And that's kind of also driven me to single players more. I'm not trying to push Overwatch away from you. If you love Overwatch, continue playing that game. It's a good game. And if you love it, then play it. What I'm trying to say is I want to remember it. I want to remember every single aspect of something I'm doing, because life, it's about as long as it can get. You know, it's not going to get shorter. It's not going to get longer. So we can't say it's short. We can't say it's long. It's just life, you know. But I want to remember every moment of it. And if I'm spending time not remembering doing something, then why do I want to do it, you know? Every game just started to blend together. Like, I mean, in Fortnite, I don't know why I'm bringing up Fortnite so much, but it's just easy right now just to kind of recall it. But with Fortnite, I could do a lot of matches, and I could tell you exactly what happened. I couldn't do start to finish, but I could tell you a lot about them, and I could tell you what happened. And that means a lot more than me than playing a bunch of games just to get kind of good at it and then not remembering any of those games. That's why I like single-player games now. So I remember the games now. I remember what I did. I just recently played Portal 1, and I loved it so much. It was so much fun. It was one of the best 2-hour experiences of my life. Or hour experience of my life. Like, that might be, that's definitely an exaggeration, but I mean gaming moments. It was a ton of fun. I remember almost all of it, and it was so good. And then with Overwatch, I can't remember almost anything with it. I can't remember any of the videos I watched. I watched tons of Overwatch League videos. I watched tons of contenders. I watched tons of Gene, I think his name is Jeyne. Watched tons of him. I watched tons of videos. And I can't remember almost any of them. I can't remember their voices or what they said. And I want to remember those kind of things because it's life, and life is supposed to mean something. And if everything blends together and I'm not even 18 yet, then what's the point of doing it? Because I want everything to mean something. In Overwatch, it just seemed to stop meaning something because every game started to go together. I played it for a few months. Nothing new really came out. No new characters, not really any cool skins, nothing, that I, went and told my mom about. Because sometimes I tell mom about stuff I do. I'm a big Star Wars nerd. I tell her about new Star Wars stuff that comes out. There's no cool Star Wars stuff that was coming out. Relating and not saying there's Star Wars stuff coming from Overwatch, because if there was, I would still be playing Overwatch if there was Star Wars stuff, duh. But still, I want to remember it, And nothing was memorable that was coming out. So it's just kind of something to think about for those of you still playing it. Try to make it mean something. If you're going to continue playing Overwatch, make each game mean something. And if you're gonna stop playing it, find a game that means something to you. And that's kind of it for that topic. But the next one I want to talk about is the game doesn't seem to be going anywhere. This game has been out for about 4 years, and I played it when it first came out, the beta, and it was awesome. And for about a year, no, probably more like 8 months, no, probably about a year, I played the game almost every day. And it was a really good game because the meta was changing every single game. It was either dive comp, I can't remember the other one. It was like, dive comp was the meta. It was always Diva and Winston, but you could also go like Reinhardt. Everybody loved that. It was like, I can't even remember it, but I know there was like 2 dominant metas back then. It was just 2-2-2, and you would just go something that worked. So like I would usually go Roadhog, and we'd go Reinhardt to Roadhog, and I loved it. But you had flexibility. But now like people, like you can do 2-2-2, but it doesn't mean much because you can't really do dive comp anymore, you know? It's like just one thing you're doing over and over and over again. And this kind of goes back into it. The one before is it's not really meaning something, and I want it to mean something. And the meta has stayed the same. It's stayed in GOATs for about a year, I believe. And that's every single comp game. So now, like I said, those comp games, they're not meaning anything. They're not going anywhere. The game isn't going anywhere. The meta isn't shifting. The characters they're adding, they're kind of making new metas. I saw some new metas, Clockwork, Vendetta, and Bunker Comp, but people don't really like Bunker Comp, so it looks like people are going to stay with GOATs still, but Clockwork, Vendetta might be making some sort of push that I heard just from a few different people that it sounded like they were going to try and push it out more, but it didn't seem to be doing anything, and you know, it's not going anywhere. Overwatch 2, it sounds cool. There's supposed to be PvE. There's supposed to be just a bunch of cool stuff coming out in that one, but as of right now, it's just cringe. That's what it is. The community, the gameplay, and the fact that it's not going anywhere. That's cringe to me. And I just kind of want to make this video to kind of tell you guys that, just to maybe shift your focus, because if people are thinking of stopping playing Overwatch, you should probably stop them, you know, because I was pretty into it for a while, and it didn't mean anything to me. It's gone. It kind of feels like I wasted my time with that game, and I want you guys to do the same thing because time is a valuable thing. So just think about that, guys. Thank you for tuning in for this whole video. I worked a lot harder on this video. That's about it. I worked really hard on it. I know that doesn't mean much to you guys if you didn't watch all the way through it, but I'm really glad if you stuck all the way through it. And yeah, I love you guys, man. Okay. I kind of just want to deep throat my mic right there, but I think that would have been weird. Would have made some weird noises. I'm going to do it.